5.
Good evening, everyone. I, Ankita Dev, the Sergeant at Arms for today, welcome you to 697 chapter meeting of Toastmasters Club of Pune. The mission of our club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their leadership and communication skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and their personal growth. Now let me explain some basic rules for this meeting. Please put all the noise-making devices on silent mode. I request all the online attendees to mute yourself when you are not speaking. In Toastmasters meeting, we shake hands when we transfer the control. Please clap whenever control is transferred. I request all the players attending online to rename themselves as your role, underscore, and your name. For example, as Sergeant at Arms, I will be renaming myself as SAA underscore Ankita. Guests can rename themselves as guest underscore and your name. Please follow the following protocol while addressing Mr. President, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. We will now have a round of guest introduction. I request each guest to tell their names and introduce yourself in 30 seconds. And how you came to know about Toastmasters. We'll also want to know that. Are there any guests? We can Nagappan.
Yes, we have the entire background.
Yeah, introduce yourself.
My name is Arun Gaikwad. I did my graduation in economics from Garwar College. Then from my graduation after that, I did drop out a lot of courses.
We don't have so much time, so 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
That's it.
Fine.
Yeah. A second guest.
So I'm from Vipavati and I'm from Bangladesh.
Hello, myself is Jainandan. I'm a native of Tamil Nadu, currently working here in Pune.
Hello everyone, I'm Siddharth Jadhav and I'm a postgraduate in literature. I'm working with the digital marketing institute and I came to know about Toastmasters Club of Pune. Thank you.
Hello, good evening to everyone. My name is Saurabh Bhosle and this is my third time meeting.
Hello everyone, I'm Kunal Samuti. This is my first time in Toastmasters Club. We came to know about Toastmasters from Facebook.
Hello everyone. My name is Pradeep Dalvi and I'm from Nashik, Maharashtra. I'm from the Mediation and Digital Marketing. I came to know Toastmasters from Facebook page.
What's your name again?
Pradeep Dalvi.
We have no guests on all our members. He's a guest. Currently a member of PMCP West, right? Just introduce yourself in brief.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kailash and I joined the Toastmasters Club of West and today I'm here as a guest.
So moving forward with the agenda, we now have someone who is a computer engineer with postgraduate diploma in innovation and corporate entrepreneurship. He is an avid player of table tennis and loves to read novels, self-help books, and write. So let us welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Akash.
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. Good evening, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Welcome to another exciting program of extraordinary theme and features at 697 chapter meeting of Toastmasters Club of Pune. I am Akash Gujral, your host for the evening. Before we start, let's hear something. Let's see the first. So some of you might be wondering, what was the dialogue? It was happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if only one remembers to turn on the light. These are the words said by Albus Dumbledore in the Harry Potter Prisoner of Azkaban book. What an amazing thought. Whenever we are going through difficulties in life, happiness can be found in us. We just need to turn on the light. Let me explain the program to be today for the benefit of our guests. We have two sessions. First half will consist of 4 speeches. The second half will be for impromptu speaking, in which you will learn how to think fast and speak off the cuff. I will now introduce our president and invite him for the opening address. Our president is the founder of Toastmasters movement in Pune and Maharashtra. Professionally, he is a corporate trainer and economist. He speaks dozen languages, has traveled to 56 countries, and has trained in 27 countries. He has led 500,000 plus Toastmasters across 212 clubs as district governor 8 years ago. In layman's language, he was the all India head for Toastmasters. He has read all Harry Potter books published till then. At one go in 2005, he likes the film Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban for its cinematography. He is a hodophile, melophile, cinephile, bibliophile, and polyglot, meaning he loves travel, music, movies, books, and languages. Let us welcome past district governor, distinguished Toastmaster, Prasad.
Am I visible correctly? With my head as well, yeah. Good evening, Muggles, Wizards, and Witches, and fellow Toastmasters. We have a meeting dedicated to magic today, and I would like to share some story. My son wanted to study magic, and he was in 5th standard then. So somebody had to drop him to the magician's place and bring him back from that class. The timings were 10 to 11. So I decided to drop him there and pick him back. But what do I do for 1 hour? So I asked the magician Raghuvi whether I can attend the class as well. And they said, no, it's not allowed. I said, I'll pay the fees and attend. Yes, that's allowed. I attended the class then along with him and learned a bit of magic. Not a lot that I pick up Ankita, keep here, cut into 2 pieces and carry her back. It's just a few things such as taking out a handkerchief from a ball and things like that, and turning colors from one to other, converting some cards into another card and so on. Simple basic magic. But what I realized after that is it's great fun because when you show those tricks to people, they are amazed, they enjoy that. More important than that, I learned something else as well. In real life, there can be so much magic. If we forget about the word magic and focus on what we are doing, we create magic. And people see the transformation. And Toastmasters is one organization where we see that transformation, where you put a simple, humble Toastmaster from one side, and after 1 year comes out a proficient speaker, a competent speaker, a confident speaker. And that is a greater magic than any magic that you can learn at any magician's class. So friends, some of you are non-Toastmasters, some of you are very new Toastmasters who have come here for the first, second, or third time today. I urge you all to enter that ball. You might be made a rabbit, or currently you might be a rabbit, and you might come out as a tiger from the other end. That is the power of this organization. That is the power of this club, where many Toastmasters join as a simple, humble, non-confident person. But at the end of few years, they became so competent, not only as speakers, but also as leaders. And we have had tremendous contribution to Pune fraternity. Our club has contributed district governors, other DO members, division directors, area directors, and so on. Please. All that has been possible because we focused on creating leaders, and the real magic lies in that. With that, I hand you back to Toastmaster today, Akash.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your exceptional address. Let me introduce my fellow colleagues who will help me control and conduct of this meeting. To maintain order in the meeting, we have a person who has completed graduation in Sound and Planning, currently pursuing MBA. She Dr. Singh travel a lot and meet new people, play chess and badminton. She is Toastmaster Ankita Dev. Please give her a reminder. To keep track of time, he is a student of EMPC engineering. He is a techie, a chef, and loves to play cricket. He is also a trekker. He is Toastmaster Harsh Dhagi. To keep track of polymer figures we use, we have Toastmaster Kailash Sutar. To give us the critical feedback of the language we use and highlight upon the good and not so good uses of English, we have the director of Pune Pramati SIG ACT Bangalore, who is MA and PhD in Sanskrit. Let us welcome Toastmaster Dhananjaya Rao.
You have to unmute yourself and speak.
Can I? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Yes.
I am Toastmaster Dhananjay Rao, language evaluator for the 617th chapter meeting of TMCP. Word of the day: charm, meaning a quality that pleases and attracts people. Example: I let myself be carried away by her secret charm. Idiom of the day: wave magic wand, meaning to provide the perfect solution to a given problem or difficulty as if by magic. Example: no one pretends that we can wave magic wand and solve the problem. I encourage the speakers and role players to use word of the day and idiom of the day during the meeting. Thank you.
Someone else will be observing everything that will happen tonight. Later, that person will give us feedback about the proceedings, the environment, and general comments. To act as general evaluator, she works as a manager, content strategy at Future Market Insights. Her hobbies are reading, cycling, playing the keyboard, harmonium, composing poems, dance, handicrafts. Let us welcome with a huge round of applause, DTM Veena. Let us hear one more dialogue which all of us will use.
Louder, please. Can't hear.
So the dialogue is: words are, in my not so humble opinion, the most exhaustive source of magic, capable of inflicting injury and remedying it. This was said by Albert Dumbledore. Again, we have one more a gem from Dumbledore. The importance of spoken word is so true that it can join us together or break and disconnect us with the same force. Coming to the agenda, the first half is just 4 speeches.
Yes, sir. He's back.
The first speaker is Toastmaster Sanjay. The time allowed is 5 to 7 minutes, meaning lighting sequences, green 5 minutes, yellow at 6 minutes, and red at 7 minutes. The buzzer of sound at 7.5 minutes. The title of speech is How I Found My Purpose in Life. The speaker is a businesswoman and a food blogger by profession. Her hobbies are exploring new cuisines, reading, and to travel. Her favorite book in Harry Potter series is Harry Potter and Philosopher's Stone. Let us welcome Sanjay Verma.
Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you and a very good evening. We are all born and since our childhood we are told that what are we supposed to do in life and what careers are we supposed to pursue. People just decide that for us. Am I right? Yeah. Seldom we get a chance to decide our own destiny and our own path of what we want to follow in life. There are but only limited number of options available through formal education as to what we want to pursue in our own lives. However, we all have our own personal calling and passions. Like some has music, some loves dancing, someone loves cooking like me. So, and the list goes on and on. All of us must have heard these names, what I'm going to say. Sachin Tendulkar, MS Dhoni. Am I right? Have you all heard of these names?
Yes.
Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Lata Mangeshkar, A.R. Rahman. The list is like never ending. There's a chef called Vikas Khanna. He's a Michelin star chef. You guys must be knowing. He owns restaurants all over the world. So these people are icons in their own respective professions. And they are well known for that. Why? Because they knew their passion and they channelized it into making their own purpose, right? I'm not implying here that these professions don't have a formal education. You can always get some formal education, and there are world-known institutes which are globally like everywhere. Places like Lake Cordon Bleu, if you want to be a pastry chef, it is one of the best in the world. Then La Masia Academy for football in Barcelona and London School of Economics, as it is called LSE, for finance and economics. It is one of the leading in the world. And colleges like Cambridge, Oxford, NYU, New York University, everyone has heard these names. My point of telling you all these details is that I want to talk to you about how I found my passion in life and made it a purpose. I would like to tell you that I'm a very artistic person, and I realized that later in life, actually, I would say very, very recently. Before that, my dream was to climb the corporate ladder. I wanted to go to MD, CEO, everything. I wanted to do. So yes, it happened to me as well. Since childhood, I was told to study well, to get good marks, to finish my formal education, become a professional, get a professional degree. Because no one would value without that, like value me without that. And I was told that I would have a hard time finding a good match if I don't have a proper education. But my husband right now, he doesn't really care what I've studied. So yeah, like point being you. So yes, but then as a kid, I believed that. And I believed it so much that I used all my energy in focusing and understanding that how will I get better at my studies. And I tried it so much. Why? Because I was not good at studies, first of all. I had no interest. I was an average student, I would say. I was more inclined towards going out, enjoying my life, and doing something creative in life. I was good at drawing, by the way, and I was offered an internship under my uncle to do a jewelry designing course. He wanted me to become a jewelry designer under him, and he wanted me to train and mentor. But that dream came to an end when I gave my exam as for chartered accountancy entrance, and I cleared it also sadly. Then I got stuck in the loop of classes and exams, and then again more classes, exam study. That just kept going on and on. Then life happened to me. I moved to Dubai for a year and a half, and that chapter also came to an end. And I moved back to India to find myself to finish that degree. I was still doing the degree. I had a break of 3 to 4 years, and then I was trying to finish, and all this while I did not realize that 9 years had passed. Since 2007 to 2016, I was still doing the same thing which I did not love, and I had stopped respecting it. CA had lost its charm on me. But guess what? I still finished it because when you take a task at hand, you have to finish it. Yes, I did. I got the degree, and then I just left it. I kept that degree aside, and then I started my business of kids garments. But I was a newbie. I was newbie and I was sorry. I had zero experience and I was not from a business background. I'm from a professional background. So I was trying to keep my business afloat and I could just only keep my head above the water. So yes, fast forwarding to 2020, all this just kept happening. And fast forwarding to 2020, when it all came together. All this while on the side, I used to cook since I was a kid. Like smallest things. When I used to come back from school, my mom had prepared something for me. If I did not like the taste, I would go redo the whole taste thing and I would enjoy it, eat it, and like with all my heart because I had made it again with my on my own. I started with my baking basic baking cakes and making puddings and experimenting with different flavors. So much so that when I realized how good I am, I realized that with small incidences, like once my sister asked me to make a butter paneer masala, and I had never cooked butter paneer masala before. But when I did, it turned out amazing. And so much so that everyone just praised me. And I realized that how good I was with the food. Even when I was studying 24/7, I used to keep cooking and doing something. In 2020, when we all were in our houses under a lockdown, we were doing our own shows, right? So my mother asked me to cook. And I took the task of cooking upon myself. Every morning, evening, I used to make new dishes. Then I realized that we could not go out, so let's make our own house a restaurant. And that's when my sister realized, and she told me to start blogging. That's when I channelized my passion and into a profession, and I made it my purpose. And hence, I've started my food blog, which you guys can follow me on Instagram and YouTube. It goes by the name Rotu Reddy. I will give you the link if you guys want. And I would love your support here. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to me.
Definitely follow you on Instagram.
Thank you.
Just pause for 30 seconds to write feedback.
Sanjay has also got some snacks for us at the end of the meeting.
Oh, wow. We are really right.
Yes, Sanjay.
Pause for 30 seconds to write feedback. So the speaker is the chat window for online and on the sheet for offline.
Request Ankita, can you please put a chair there and stop at the door because people are entering. If you are not there, you can stop them and they can enter only after the speech is over. Yes, it's better.
The second speaker is Toastmaster Palakshi. The time allowed for you is 1 to 7 minutes. Reading writing sequences, period 5, heroic 6, red at 7, and the buzzer will sound at 7 minutes. The title of the speech is Emotional Well-being. Palakshi is a recruitment specialist with technology with 6+ years of experience in HR, 8+ in PG. He's an health practitioner and loves to go to gym, travel, and connect with people. Let's welcome Toastmaster Palakshi.
Very good evening to one and all, President Toastmasters, Toastmasters of the day, my fellow Toastmasters, and all my dear friends. So it's the beautiful and best things in the world cannot be touched or seen, but then they can be felt from bottom of the heart. And that is nothing but emotion. That's the charm of it. So we all have emotions, right? We go through different emotional situations in our life. But then if I have to keep all those emotions over a wheel of emotions, I can come up with the combination of different sort of emotions. Say, for example, if I'm amazed and surprised together, what's the emotion that is going to come out of me? It's awe, right? So it's not just about the emotions that we focus upon, it's about the emotional well-being that is very, very important. And it's a need of an hour. We have gone through a very bad patch. We have witnessed pandemic, COVID, and we know each one of us has faced certain unforeseen situation during that period. But then we could sustain because of our emotional well-being. It's not just emotional well-being, but physical well-being as well. So how do I define emotional well-being? Emotional well-being is the ability to generate positive emotions, thoughts, moods, feelings, which help me adapt to the uncertain and unforeseen situations. On the other hand, I can also define emotional well-being in terms of emotional intelligence. It is nothing but understanding of our own emotions, being aware of our own emotions, so that we can understand the emotions of others and could be empathetic towards it. So if we practice empathy, that means we are leading towards emotional well-being. But this is not the only thing. What are the different other factors which we can focus upon, which will help us to maintain that emotional well-being? So first and foremost thing is we need to be thoughtful and mindful. So when I say this, we need to focus on our current situation, our current scenario, what are we leading into, focusing on present rather than focusing on past and future. And also, we need to focus upon our own presence of mind. Second thing is, are we all stressed? At certain point in time, of course, we are all stressed. But then, what is that stress? Is it a eustress or a de-stress? If I'm dealing with these types of stress, how am I dealing with those? Am I working on certain things which I love? Am I working on my hobbies? Say it would be dancing, it would be listening songs, it would be reading. What am I focusing on in order to overcome that stress? Third thing is, how can I be having a positive mindset? So when I talk about positive mindset, it has to be a balance between positive mindset and a negative mindset. So what's that alma mater that I get out of it? How do I balance it is very, very important. So when I'm balancing it, that means I am surrounded with positive people, right? I am exchanging positive thoughts with people, positive information with people. Also, I focus upon being motivated and helping others motivate. So how am I doing that? I mean, this is for all of us, right? This is how it is going to develop positive mindset. So if we are focusing on motivation, how are we motivating ourselves and others? Are we reading something onto it? Are we listening to something? Are we watching something motivational? What is it? Along with this, so when I say I have a positive mindset, I am stress-free, I am mindful, but how do I come back to my own social circle? How do I resonate to them? How do I connect with people? Everybody, every other stakeholder that is involved in our life, maybe our parents, our relatives, our friends. So how are we connected? And are we connected to any other academies, any learning academies, anything that new that we learn out of these academies, right? And how do we share those? So all these different factors are obviously going to help us in maintaining our emotional well-being. And I hope this would be a wave of magic wand. And just coming towards the end of it, it's not that always we have to be positive. Even if it's fine, even if we are sad at times, we fear at times, we are angry at times, but these negative feelings don't make us negative person, but we become humans. That's what emotion is. Thank you.
Awesome speech. Let's pause for 30 seconds to write feedback to the speaker in the chat window and on the sheet of paper given below. Third speaker is Toastmaster Priyanka Thakur. Is online. Time allowed is 1 to 7 minutes. The typing sequence is green at 5 minutes, yellow at 6 minutes, and red at 7 minutes. The buzzer will sound at 7.5 minutes. Title speech is 4 ways to get more done in less time. The speaker is a simple human being who meditates regularly and loves cycling, reading books, and trekking. Let's welcome with a huge round of applause Toastmaster Priyanka Thakur.
Hello, am I audible and visible? Yes. Perfect. A quick fact check. 96% of people check their mobiles within 1 hour of waking up in the morning. And a whooping 61% take a peek within first 5 minutes. I'm having a noise. While it may seem harmless to check your mobile as soon as you open your eyes, but it sets you up for a reactive kind of a day. Mr. President, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests, think about it. If the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is to check your mails, read your text messages, or open your voice emails, you are setting yourself to be second. Whether good, bad, or no news awaits, you are letting other people set your mood for the day. Most of us are guilty of this, and it inevitably affects our productivity. So, how we can have more productive day to get most out of our days? I have heard time and again that you cannot let others people's priority determine the course of your day. Rather, you must be deliberate about how you organize your time or fit your work into your schedule. Here are 4 tips which you can use, which are recommended by highly successful people, and I hope can work for you. First, align your most important work with your chronotype. Your chronotype is nothing but a fancy way of saying your body clock. We all have 24-hour sleep-wake cycle, which we all experience. Everyone has a unique chronotype, which influences the peaks and the troughs of the energy, which we experience throughout our day. Now, 10% of the population is stereotypical lark, who are most energetic in the morning. And at the extreme end, 20% of the population are owls, the people who perform their perfect work at night. But most of us lies somewhere in between. Our peak energy levels lies somewhere before the noon, and our energy start dipping post lunch. And we have a second wind late afternoon. To plan your work better, you can start structuring your day by assessing your chronotype and then aligning your most important work that require your intense brain power with your energy peaks. Now moving on to the second tip, plan your work a night before. A productive day just doesn't just happen. It requires planning. When you write down what you intend to do, when and where you intend to do, you are more likely to achieve your goal. Take control of your day with meticulous planning. Make your plans a day before, most recommended at the end of the day, when the task that needs to be done for tomorrow are still fresh in your mind. Make a list of your top priorities. And in the next day, until those tasks are performed, everything else is a distraction. Now moving on to the third tip, develop some deliberate rituals for different type of work. Being deliberate about from where you work from is another way of adding structure to your day. Deliberately link different locations to different types of work. Now, what does it mean? For example, if you have to do some theoretical work or some kind of a work which requires you to think, you may consider walking around. If there is a task which needs you to perform some writing, a well-arranged seating arrangement with the proper lighting at a designated place may help. These rituals are kind of a cues to your brain to enhance your productivity. Now moving on to the fourth type of tip which I can offer is to avoid being 100% booked. Now this is very common to assume that the most productive and the most successful people are booked solid 100% for their day. But on the contrary, most of the successful people have admitted to the opposite. Being booked 100% is a huge risk. And how so? If you have the entire day booked with the meetings, that leaves no space for you to live the real life. If you have meetings and no free space in your calendar, then you do not allow yourself to have serendipitous moments or the moments of creativity or imagination. Productivity is not about how many hours you work or how many tasks in your checklist you are able to check off. It is about doing what needs to be done and aligning that in an order that you work efficiently and in a time effective manner. Now, how you can do that? A simple thing. Start your day with being intentional. You cannot leave your day for a chance. There is no way that you can wave a magic wand and a productive day will happen for you. I hope you will use these tips which I have described, the main 4 tips, and you may in the future be intentional and deliberate about the day you structure and bring most out of it. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you for the informative speech and the awesome tips. Let's pause for 30 seconds to write feedback for the speaker in the chat window and on the sheet for offering. The full speaker is Toastmaster and then Toastmaster. Time allowed is 1 to 7 minutes, meaning writing sequences green at 5, yellow at 6, and red at 7. Puzzle will sound at 7.5 minutes. The title speech is a presentation to sharks. Speaker is an engineer with MBA, is a corporate consultant, ex-vice president of an American company, and author of the book Scratch Card for Freedom. We will have some actual practical magic here. Many of you must have seen Shark Tank. Yes, and of course, it's a magic thing. It's a magical thing to raise funds. He will be giving a speech for his present skills. He will make a sales pitch for the investment of 20 crore to you. Now it's all in your hands. Let's welcome Toastmaster Nagappan.
We need to show that.
Good evening. As you already know, getting the money from somebody as a fund for business is not easy. It's not like waving a magic wand and getting the money. What we have to use our charm. Impress those people that their money will be in good hands. And we decided to select a practical example for us. Because when we are doing the presentation, this is a project of presentation scale as per the Toastmasters schedule. So here we go. Respected President, Toastmasters of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today I'll be making a pitch for reaping gold from sugarcane field. I will be presenting a setup of manufacturing of sugarcane harvester, which will be useful for the Indian conditions. We will see how we have come to reaping gold from sugarcane field. It is not like our famous politicians say that एक side से दूसरी side से सोना निकलता है. It is something which is real. I assure you. The rising labor cost is a very big concern in India. As you can see, it is going far ahead and very astronomically fast, and it has come to something like 400 rupees per day, which creates a big problem for the farmer to get the labor. At least 30 million heads are left in the last year for better opportunities from the agriculture field. I don't know whether these hands are now doing WhatsApp or not, I don't know. But then these people have left the agriculture. So the present sugarcane harvesters are actually manufactured as per the requirement of the Brazil. Brazil is the #1 country which is producing maximum sugarcane. We are the number 2. However, the designs are not suitable for us. They are more suitable for Brazil. We will come to the reason why. The problem is that these sugarcane harvesters are very big and the Indian farm sizes are very small. So what happens is that when the harvester enters into the farm, when it rotates, turns, that time it creates a lot of damage to the crop, which is very small size because of the small size of the farm. The manual labor, as I discussed, is very costly, so it creates a lot of loss for the farmer just to harvest his crop, and also the shaft, the green leaves is taken away by the manual labor. And the price per machine is also from 90 lakhs to 1.4, 1.5 crores, which is very huge cost for the Indian farmer. So as we discussed, the big turning radius is a big problem for the big harvesters. See, these are the huge mammoth harvesters which are very huge for our Indian crops, very costly. Taking too much diesel because there is a lot of big engines in this. But we have a solution. Our company has, and that solution is really like minting gold or harvesting gold from the crops of sugarcane. Our company has already designed a patent, designed a harvester, and for which we have already got the award from the government in the innovation festival. This particular design is particularly suitable for the Indian farmers, Indian farms, and the Indian sugarcane factories. Now, these are the 3 points which make our harvester different from the other harvesters that are available in the market. One is the zero turning radius, means the harvester can turn itself in its own position, so it will damage the leaves of the crop, which is a very important point in the Indian farm condition. Then it also removes the shaft, the green leaves on the sugarcane, which can be sold by the farmer as a fodder for the animals. So he can also earn by that. So his cost of harvesting gets reduced by that amount. Then another thing is that the imported harvesters are cutting the sugarcane into small pieces in the harvester itself, because it is suitable for the sugarcane factories which are there in Brazil and other outside countries. Our particular harvester does not cut it into the millet, but it keeps it long, which is suitable for our sugar factories because they are using straight and long. Their machines are suitable for the straight complete piece of sugarcane. If we cut the pieces of the sugarcane, then actually it loses its weight because the inside the water gets evaporated. The weight of the sugarcane reduces. So when the sugarcane factory will buy the sugarcane from the farmer, the weight will be reduced. So they will earn lesser money. So because our sugarcane is whole sugarcane, the weight will not reduce because of the evaporation, and the farmer stands to gain out of this particular harvest. So these are the different points. It is like striking gold. You can click the link so that you can just see how a tractor will turn in its own position. You can see it is turning almost in its own position. And that's okay.
Okay.
The good news as I have written is that when I have seen this particular particular machine of harvester, they have decided that they will support us for this particular venture. We have already got our own patent by which we can assure to the investor that we have the complete patent in India as well as in the international Bureau of Standards, by which what is going to happen is that our money which is invested can be protected because nobody else can manufacture this kind of design which we have. So this is a unique product which is an extraordinary opportunity in the Indian subcontinent. And we have got the capability of sales and marketing because we have got the experienced people like me and my other colleagues who are having experience of more than 20 years. So as you can see, the sugarcane is farms are available all over India, and we have so many opportunities where we can sell about 50,000 machines. So with that, I request you to consider our request for the funding, which is about 5 crores in the first year and then total 20 crores in the span of 3 years. Thank you.
Interesting pitch. Let us know. You want to invest or no?
Send the money to my bank.
Yeah, he's always ready. Let's pause for 30 seconds and write feedback to the speaker. In the chat window, the speaker question. Thank you. Let's have the timer's report now. Toastmaster, how is the target? Can you please give us the exact time?
The first speaker took 7 minutes 34 seconds. The second speaker took 6 minutes 32 seconds,
and the third speaker took 6 minutes 50 seconds, and the last speaker took 7 minutes 15 seconds. Please repeat it. First speaker took 7 minutes 34 seconds. The second speaker took 6 minutes 32 seconds. For 6 minutes 50 seconds. For 7 minutes 15 seconds. Except for first speaker, all three are qualified. So vote for the best speaker.
Yes. Pick the best. Yes.
Yeah, please vote for the best speaker. Write the name of the best speaker and tear it off and give it to us. Yes.
Just from this ballot, tear up only this portion. Right.
Tear off the portion you say to me. Give it to this. In a 3 to 5 minutes. Welcome back to this wonderful PhD meeting on magic. Let's listen to one more dialogue by C.S. Black, who is godfather of Harry Potter.
Meanwhile, I'm launching poll for online folks. It was not launched earlier. I clicked on it, but it had not got launched. Online folks, please vote. And if you are both online and offline, don't vote. So voted on this here. Carry on.
Chip 3.
Yeah. That is repeated dialogue. The ones that love us never really leave us. You can always find them right here. This was dialogue by C.S. Black in the Harry Potter Prison of Azkaban. Here, C.S. Black is talking about how he spent time with Harry Potter's mother and father, and how the people that love us never really leave us, and you can always find them in the heart. So just read through it. Now it's time for evaluations. The 5 evaluators, the 4 evaluators will give their written and oral feedback to the speaker at the end of meeting. But they will also give some feedback in 2 to 3 minutes here. The timing sequence is green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5 minutes, and red at 3 minutes. The buzzer is at 3 minutes 30 seconds. The first speech by Toastmasters Sanjali will be guided by a software engineer profession. She is passionate about solving the real world problems. She aspires to become an engineer who can give solution to all the problems. Let us welcome with a huge round of applause Toastmaster Sakshi Pandey.
Good evening, Mr. President, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Am I visible and audible?
You are not.
Am I visible and audible?
Yeah. We can proceed.
Today I had the privilege of evaluating Toastmasters Sanjari's speech titled How I Found the Purpose of My Life. Toastmaster Sanjari gave a wonderful speech. Overall, her speech was very structured. She started by giving an example of famous people who followed their passion, and then how as a kid she was told that formal education is important in her life. Then also while following her formal education, how she found the purpose of her life and why completing her formal education was difficult for her. So good work on that. I found her story very inspiring. I also observed that her body language and voice modulation was very good during the speech. She also maintained good eye contact with the audiences. Although I have few recommendations for her. I felt that the overall fluency and the transition of the speech was missing. So the transition from one aspect to the other aspect could have been better. Also, her speech, she could have elaborated her experiences more, so that the speech could have been completed in the given time. Secondly, I also observed that she was reading from the page, which was, and she kept looking at it from time to time, which was a bit off-putting. Also, she could have used some quotes in her speech, which aligned with the objective of her speech. So these are the few recommendations I have for her. Overall, her speech was very good. The story was very captivating and definitely very inspiring, and it ended on a good note. She definitely passed the project with flying colors, and her body language and voice modulation was on point. So well done, Toastmaster Sanjari, and all the best for your future speeches. That's it from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster.
For the action day will be evaluated by Toastmaster for the last 9+ years, an IT professional working with the Japanese IT company in Pune. He is interested in personal finance, public speaking, and fitness. Recently started Reiki and regular follower of TNAOC. It's Toastmaster Nagappan. Let's have a good round of applause.
Honorable President, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening to all of you. Good evening. Good evening to my target speaker, Toastmaster Parag Shinde. Today, he has given a speech on the project called Write a Speech with Purpose. Let us see how he has delivered the speech. I liked the speech, especially the purpose of the speech. I think the purpose of the speech is to write a speech with purpose, and I could see him effectively he has come up with a topic, and the topic which we normally may not want to get into that, on emotional well-being, which is normally when speaking on a topic about me, or maybe how did I do the topic today, how was my journey from my home here, all these are easier topics. But speaking about emotional well-being is a tougher topic which he has taken, and I could see him comfortably delivering the speech. And I saw him using the stage effectively, going from this side to that side. He was much comfortable with the stage. I found him to be good at that. Second one, the body language. I could see he was using the body language with comfort. And that's a charm which attracts the people when we are going to use the body language and even vocal variety. I could see him using the vocal variety also whenever he has to make a point. I could see him that he raising his voice. He did it very well. But in Toastmaster, we always come for some improvement. What he can work on the improvement, I have a few suggestions for him. First one, I want him to, in case if he is taking up a topic like emotional intelligence, emotional well-being, which may be a little difficult topic or maybe difficult for people to understand, he can reduce the content. I could see he was having a lot of content on giving 1, 2, 3 steps on what all we should do to improve the emotional well-being. Reduce the content, and you did not cover all the areas. How are we satisfied? How are we working on our hobbies? How to have a positive mindset? Reduce the content to maybe 1 or 2 points only, because this is a little tougher topic so that people can easily follow. That is one. The second one, by using the stage, I could see you are comfortable using the stage. Instead of using it from left to right, we normally say that's like a tiger in the cat, moving from left to right and right to left. Instead of that, use the stage with some specific purpose. Maybe while explaining the point, you can be here, and then while explaining the story or maybe giving some reasons for that, you can come here. So that whenever you come here, everyone will look at it, okay, Toastmaster Parachi is going to make a point over a period of time. So that way, I think stage can be more effectively utilized. And when you are going to take up a topic which are going to be more difficult for people to understand, reduce the content so that you will have more time to deliver or give more examples for each topic. You can work on these 2 areas. Definitely, I am seeing you coming up very well in the speeches, and I wish you all the best. Thank you, and over to the Toastmaster.
The third speech by Toastmaster Priyanka Thakur will be evaluated by Toastmaster Varun Biglani.
Yes, I hope I'm audible. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Honorable President. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. And good evening, all the guests. A very good evening to one and all. Today, I'm going to evaluate speaker number 3, Priyanka Thakur. Priyanka Thakur gave a good speech which was related to the theme time management. She was speaking about effective ways of time management. I felt she had a good introductory statements she had made, which got our attention about the importance of time. And then in the body of her speech, she spoke about 4 tips on time management, which I overall feel it was a good important tips which she had researched and shared with all the fellow Toastmasters and guests, and which will be very effective if we follow one and all. Here I have what I also liked about her speech is the flow of the speech, the voice modulation. I felt the speech was aptly spoken with regular pauses, which gave the audiences also the time to reflect on. When it comes to voice modulation, I felt it was suiting, it was apt for the audience, which helped in proper understanding of the message of the tips which she was mentioning. I have few such recommendations, Speaker Priyanka Thakur. I felt that when it comes to the introductory statements, maybe a few quotes of influential person could have gained a better attention, as a hook at the start would have been very helpful. I'm sorry, there was a call in between. When I was mentioning about recommendations, I personally felt that if she would have given few more examples on time management, it would have been better. The message of time management could have been more better communicated to the audience. Overall, a very good speech, and I congratulate Priyanka Thakur for enlightening us on the topic of time management. Thank you.
The fourth speech.
Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. The fourth speech by Toastmaster Nandan Pushkar will be evaluated by a graduate in microbiology. He loves to play football and cricket. He loves to watch Test cricket, women's cricket, EW, and Premier League matches. He supports Manchester City as he feels that they are the underdogs of the league. His interests are cricket, football, wrestling, and drawing. Let us all welcome Toastmaster Kailash.
Good evening, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. My speaker, Toastmaster Nandan, gave an informative speech about finance and business by pitching an idea in front of an audience, and he considered the audience as sharks, and he used the modern concept of Shark Tank, and he used it very precisely because it is very fresh in our minds, and it is he used a tactic of using what is more modern and which is more fresh, so that it can grab the audience's attention. So I would like to divide the evaluation on content and how he delivered the speech. First, in his content, it was well constructed because you had a proper introduction, body, and in conclusion. And I also felt that it was a well prepared speech. And also, you use simple language, as I think most of I am a science student, so I'm not well versed in the field of business, but I could understand what you are trying to pitch in front of everyone. So by using simple language, we didn't make everything complex and go over the head. So I felt that you were able to meet some criteria of your project, and also I felt that you had chosen an appropriate title also for your speech. And how did you deliver the speech? I felt that you were comfortable in giving your speech, and also you use good hand gesture, and you also use this. You also use the space which was here. But I have a couple of recommendations. First recommendation would be on vocal variety, because I felt that you were using only one single tone. And the second recommendation would be the awareness of where the camera is, because when you're here, for the online people, I won't be visible to the online people. So like if you could stand here and come forward or something, then you could effectively use the camera and you'll be visible for the audience, which is in the online. So these are my recommendations, and I would like you to incorporate this recommendation, and I know you would give beautiful speeches in the near future. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Let's vote for the best evaluator. Timer, please inform us about the timer.
All four evaluators are qualified.
I request everyone to vote on the paper, eligible paper.
Four names of the evaluator.
Voting launched for online folks as well. May I request that we move the table in front by another 2 feet or so that the speakers don't get projected on their right.
May I come in, sir? Sorry, President, sir, may I come in?
Yeah.
May I come in, sir? President, sir?
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir, just wanted a count how many tea is needed. And so far we have ordered for 20 people. I am not aware about the number of people in the
22 here, 22, 23.
23. Okay. How many should I order? 15 cup tea if anyone don't want.
I'll just ask. Folks, we have one situation here where the canteen guy closes earlier, but he takes order and prepares and keeps things ready for us. We just need to know how many of you will drink tea and how many of you will drink coffee. And there is no other option. So just raise your hand if you are going to drink tea. She has got cookies for us, so you better drink tea or coffee, one of these. So I just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, about 11 people, persons raise hand for tea. Coffee? and 9 cups of coffee. And don't change this now, okay?
Okay. Okay, sir. One more thing is, yeah, one announcement, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Today there is a pest control happening in the evening in the canteen. So the food will be served. Our attendant will bring it in the conference room, this room itself.
Great. Better. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
There is a pest control going on in the canteen, so they will prepare.
Yeah, in the evening after 6:30 there will be a pest control, so they will prepare it and bring it in the thermos, the tea coffee.
I hope the tea coffee remains hot.
Yes, yes. In case coffee is not available, we will serve tea. In case coffee is not available. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, carry on.
Let's go ahead with the debate topic session. Now let's test our ability to think fast and speak impromptu in the debate topic session. So debate topic master is Tamanna Ahuja. She's a motivational speaker and her hobbies are reading and listening to music. Her interests include reading also. Let's all welcome the big hand Toastmaster Tamanna.
Good evening, Toastmasters.
Good evening.
The purpose of the table topic is to develop the ability to think on your feet. I'm going to invite some Toastmasters and guests to speak on a topic each. They will come here, shake hands with me before and after their speech. Please clap at the time of a handshake. To qualify for the voting, a speaker must speak between 1 minute and 2 minutes 30 seconds. The timer will give signals as follows. Green will be flashed at the end of 1 minute, yellow at the end of 1.5 minutes, and red at the end of 2 minutes. There will be a grace period of 30 seconds to wrap up at the end of which the bulb will ring. The first speaker I would like to call today is Toastmaster Mishma. Yes, we like to be a magician. Thank you so much, table topic master, Toastmaster. A very good evening, presiding officer, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. Would I want to be a magician? This is a topic which is in my wish list, isn't it? Any one of us out here would like to be a magician. It starts all with a dream. I would want this car, I would want this house, I would want this type of friends, I would want this family. But are we able to achieve this? Anyone? We can if we just dream and if we are ourselves. If we work for it, I believe we can create magic in our lives, as what our presiding officer also had mentioned at the start. So, answering to your question, I would like to be a magician and I would have a set of, endless bucket list, which my magic wand, I would like to wave a magic wand and create charm in my life so that I would create magic all around me and around everyone else who's in my life. Thank you so much. And I would like to call guest Loki
Purna Pathway. Okay. Loki is new, so let him observe few more speakers and then we can.
Saurabh Bhosle.
Next week नहीं, अजून 4-5 speakers आले
The topic is, have you seen any magic show?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Saurabh Bhosle. Though I have not seen any magic show, but I have seen so many magical people around me. So I will share experience about them. So I have seen many teachers. Those are in my life. Those are give me a magical feeling to teach me how to communicate with the people, how to deal with the situation. So those are magical person for me. And coming to the next section of magical people, those are from my family. And those people like my brother and sister, those give me a very humble opinion when I'm feeling angry, when I'm feeling nervous. That time they help me as a good person how to deal with those situations. So these two people are in my life, the magical people in my life. Thank you everyone for listening to me. Thanks.
Now I would like to call guest Anchal Krishna. Do you like reading stories of magic like Harry Potter?
Hello everyone. Good evening, Mr. President. Okay, so the topic is reading books, for example, like Harry Potter, right? So first of all, I'm not a person who reads books too often, but by profession I'm a teacher, so I have to read books to teach my kids, to tell them story every day, to motivate them on daily basis, so that they can look forward to meet me every day and teach them, so that they will, whenever they enter the classroom, they should have a charm to listen, to understand, okay, this is what my teacher is going to teach me. But for me, reading is always kind of words which will give motivation, which will give purpose to life every time, which will lead all the positive aspects in life. Reading sometimes for me is very hectic. Yesterday only I was reading some book and in 10 minutes I was like, I need to sleep. But then again my daughter came and she was like, you promised me that you will read every day. Why are you not reading? Then I was like, okay. Then she became my magic way. What's that word? I don't know what's that word. Yes. She became that for me, and I understood that every day we need to practice and we need to motivate. And for me, my daughter is a magician.
Now I'd like to call guest Jayanantha. Do you wish you had a magic wand?
Can you repeat the topic, please?
Do you wish you had a magic wand?
One. The last word was not audible.
Why did you make a magic?
Hello all, good evening. My topic today is to whether I can have a magic wand. Yes, I would like to have a magic wand because it will be cool. We have seen in many movies people will be doing magic and all those things. Yeah, I would like to have. It will be very nice. Actually, it will be very nice. Because in our country, in India, not only magicians have this, many of the saints and all those people have kind of magic wand.
Now I would like to call Kunal Salvi. Watching magic shows.
President, thank you Toastmasters for giving me this opportunity to talk. Today my topic is do you wish to have? Okay, so I like to watch magic shows, of course, but I have not watched a magic show, but I have watched the movie. The movie name is American. We have American in it. Doom 3. Yeah, Doom 3. So that was the movie which I watched. I liked the movie, and in in magic shows, magician always have a band with the help of which he used to he used this wand and create some magic. So and these magic shows are very charming and I like those magic shows.
I'd like to call guest Toastmaster Avinash Tugal. Some magical moments of your life.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Avinash Tugal. Today, my topic is on
Magical moments of your life.
magical moments of my life. So, when I first arrived in Pune, because of the 2 years lockdown, I went into I had some anxiety issues and I went into depression. But when the lockdown opened and I came to the Pune, yeah, I learned many things about social life, talking to people, networking, and growing. Yeah. Actually, it took me 2 months to recover from my depression, and I'm moving on. And yeah, and I'll keep on moving on. And that was my magical moment in my life to come out of that depression. Thank you.
I'd like to call guest Arya Kushal. The topic is do you believe?
Good evening, everyone. So my topic for today is do I believe in magic? So an author named Arthur Clarke once quoted that any scientific advancement is beyond magic. Any magic is beyond any scientific advancement. So people always told me that magic is not actually something that's happening. It's actually science. It's just a trick that a person is playing on you. But since I was a kid, I have watched many magic shows and I started believing it. And as I grow older, I started to understand that there are some tricks, but that still fascinates me. When I was a kid, it fascinated me as a thing, and now as I grow up, I admire the skills that a person puts in for such a difficult thing. I have watched many movies like The Prestige, the Harry Potter series, and this has made me admire magic, even more. It's not just about the tricks; it's about what we see in the world every day. Our words, our conversations, the people we are with, the places we visit, all are magic. It's what we embrace with ourselves. The magic is within. We can use it, and we can see it. We can observe it, and we can feel it. So there's another famous quote which I really like, which is from the author who wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He says that the people who never believe in magic will never find it. So I would always like to believe in magic, would like to feel it, observe it, and would always wish for everyone to see it around. Thank you so much.
I'd like to call topic Purna Putra. Have you experienced magic?
Can I answer the topic?
My name is Nagappan, and I'm very nervous. You are very supportive, so I'm trying my best to speak in English, of my native language. My uncle was Portugal. He's a magician. About magic, I'm
experience because in 2017, we went through anxiety and depression, and suddenly something called spirituality. I don't know if you have to believe in it, but I believe in the concept of God. So I think that's the magic of the whole universe. And because of that, I'm here. I'm in a very bad place that time. I think that's the magic.
What is magic according to you?
Hello everyone. According to me, magic is love. Love is such a thing which can transpire any person, and though it is hard to love when we are anxious, when we are nervous, when we are cheated, then we feel that love do not exist in this world. And when we try, especially when we try to our best to love somebody else, but uh, we all must have experienced love of our parents. Uh, how do they care about us? How much they love us? And when we are worried about certain thing, then their caringness, their love support us, and that uh, gives us motivation to face challenges in life. And anything, if you have joined in company, and then if you have joined in club, and there if you are welcome and supported by your colleagues, then that is also kind of love, and that can also help you to become a great person. So any successful person, I think, he has become successful because of he had a love for something in life. So that's it. Thank you.
Now I'd like to call VPPR. Your opinion about science behind magic.
Everyone, the topic is science behind magic. Science behind magic because there are tricks like for magic, like uh, the, on YouTube they show videos of magic, but behind the scenes actually there are tricks how they do it, different types of tricks, and it's that we don't know the tricks, but some people show the tricks like what they have done with the magic.
Now I'd like to call some this. Is there more time?
We have. Yeah.
Now I'd like to call Toastmaster page.
Or one more thing you can do, you can announce the topic and let anybody on the agenda participate, whoever wants.
The art of magic is disappearing. Is there a need to preserve it? The art of magic is disappearing. Is there a need to preserve it?
I do believe that the art of magic needs to be preserved because when we do certain tricks in front of kids, you see their innocence and you find how they are awestruck when they see something disappear. But like when you try to do it with an educated person, he may believe or he may not believe it. So why magic is disappearing because of the influence of science and technology, and with the advancements of science and technology, people like won't give that much. They won't watch any magic shows with their kids, and they would prevent their kids to watch any magic shows in the near future. So I think we should preserve magic, and because it's a wonderful thing. And for example, with my younger brother, till he was the age of 10, he didn't know what science and technology was, and he used to always believe in magic. And when he came into the 8th standard, he started learning about science and biology, and he was intrigued by animals and everything. So he lost his interest in magic. So sometimes our interest diverges from certain circumstances in your life, but magic is wonderful.
See, the topic was interested in volunteer. What is your magic mantra?
My magic mantra is keep moving forward. I basically follow it every time. Like whenever you go in your life, whenever you are facing any problem, just take it in your stride, keep moving forward. There's nothing else you can do. You fail, you fall, it's fine. In the long sense, in the long game, it doesn't matter. All it matters that you get up and you move ahead into life. You look forward and you don't look back at all. Maybe you look back for the difficulties you face. Maybe you can learn something from them. But rest of all, don't look back. Just keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Thank you so much.
See, the topic who wants to volunteer. Do you believe in black magic? Yes.
He has spoken already. Yes.
Hello everyone once again. So yes, there is black magic in this world. Right? There's night, there's day, there's good, there's bad, there's evil. So like that, there's black magic as well. When people do good magic, the opposite part is black magic, where you can control people. The day before yesterday, I just saw that movie. I don't know if anyone has not seen, but it is about how people can misuse black magic and harm anyone. And I have seen few other movies as well. Although it is there, but we can always defeat the evil, and we can always the good will always come above evil. So yes, that's it. But yeah, the black magic is there, and I don't believe in it, although, but yes, it should not be practiced for sure.
The topic is, have you seen any magic show? Who would like to volunteer?
Again, Honorable President, Toastmasters of the Table Topics Master Fellow, Toastmasters guests. Good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
The topic is, have I seen any magic show? Is there anyone here who has not seen a magic show? Oh, we have a person. Okay. Maybe you could have spoken about that. Because I know all of us might have seen a magic show, maybe at different timings, at different types of shows. Maybe when I saw my first magic show, I was studying in my primary school. So at the time I had to pay 10 paisa. Not sure if some people here might not have even seen that also. 10 paisa. So and I had to take permission not only from my mom, from my grandfather, grandmom, everyone, because they also audited us to what will be there in the magic show, and then finally they gave go ahead, and so I paid that money on the paisa, 10 paisa, and watched the magic show. There I could see that the person was doing a lot of tricks. There was a black color towel or maybe something like cloth, and when he removed it, he could see a sparrow coming out of that. I was wondering as to how that was happening. So that was the magic. The charm in the magic is when we see that, oh, something happening great. But things will happen great. But only there are also magics where they are making the train to disappear from a platform. Not sure. I could see that the sparrow from the black color cloth, something can be doable. And even the playing cards, I have seen that people doing it, that are all tricks. I don't know how people make a train disappear. All the things are happening. So when we are seeing things and wondering that the magics are happening outside, why can't it happen in our life also? Let's try to make the magics happen. And we all will not only see the magic show, we all will become magic show. And let's start doing it. What are we waiting for? Let's do it. Over to the topic. Okay.
Topic is, do you believe in magic?
Good evening, everyone, once again. I have seen some magic shows and I have even learned magic as I have mentioned earlier. But there are other things in the world which give you a feeling that it is magic. When you watch a rainbow in front of a beautiful hill or in front of a waterfall, doesn't it give you a feeling that God is doing some magic there? And that is a fantastic view where you see 5, 6, 7 rainbows at cataratas or waterfalls that you are seeing. So nature shows us magic every day. We don't realize it. You look at the sky, not in Pune, in a city or in a village where there are no city lights as powerful as we have here, and you see a sky full of stars, and that is a magic itself. So we see magic everywhere around us, and we also experience it when you take a book, you read a book, and that transforms you. If it's a powerful book, there is a magic which is happening already. That book has transformed you into someone different. And you have learned something from that and gone ahead in your life and done something better than that. Correct? So that is magic. In India, we also have movies, and some movies do magic by taking a movie from abroad, copying it, and producing another movie. The Prestige is a movie of 2006, and Zoom 3 is a movie of 2011 or 12. So many things are copied, including dialogues. So what Rebecca Hall tells Christian Bale there, that sometimes you act differently, sometimes you are different. When you say I love you, sometimes I feel that love, sometimes I don't feel that love. Exact same dialogue Katrina Kaif says here to Amir Khan. So this is also magic, isn't it? Of copying content from other country without giving credit for that and making money out of that. That is also magic. Although it could be said as black magic, because you're not giving credit for that to the person who deserves credit for that. So nowhere I have seen the name of Christopher Nolan in that movie. It's not even in the initial credits nor at the end of that movie. So maybe we should also work on this magic and tell them to stop this black magic.
Now we would like to vote. I'll take names. You have to raise your hand so that everybody.
I will also flash the list on the screen.
Okay. First was Reshma.
Just take the finals report because many people have not qualified.
I think.
Okay, so these are the names which are qualified, correct? Just confirm once. And how many were not qualified?
Open to voting.
Let's go for the voting first.
Just one moment, please. Doing the report as well.
Yeah, 7 of them are not qualified. Saurabh Bhosle is also not qualified. Saurabh Bhosle is also not qualified.
That's okay.
Okay, so there were 15 speakers, of which 7 were not qualified, and these are the ones who are remaining here.
Let's yeah, give 30 seconds for the voting. Then people can vote on the poll. Others can write in. Please have to check.
Online folks, you can start voting.
Is the language is the language evaluator present?
Dhananjay Rao. We lost. We lost him. Okay. He has lost connection.
Okay. So we'll have now the counter report. Let's welcome Toastmaster Kailash.
If this guy, can somebody please call him and check whether he can join back? Go outside the room and call this.
Hey everyone, am I visible and audible?
Yes.
All right. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. We often find ourselves using crutchword or fillers like or you know, or meaningless sound like when we are searching for the right word to say. Such crutchwords distract from our speech and give the impressions that we are not well prepared. Instead, try just pausing a moment while you straining your thoughts. This will help to reduce a reliance on those words and achieve clear and eloquent speech. I will now present my report. The first speaker, Sergeant at Angita, used a one-time. Coming to speaker, a second speaker, Toastmaster Parag Sinde, used a 3 times, and he also used word right couple of times throughout the speech, which was useless. Third speaker, Toastmaster Priyanka, had long pauses 4 times and used a 1 time. Fourth speaker, Toastmaster Nandan Bojraj, used a 2 times. Coming to evaluator, first evaluator, Toastmaster Sakshi, used a 5+ times and 4 times. A third evaluator, Toastmaster Varun, used a 5+ times, and last evaluator, Toastmaster Tej Sharma, used unnecessary word so 2 times and 1 time. Coming to table topic, second table topic speaker, guest Saurav, used a 5+ time. Third speaker, guest Anchal, used a 2 times and word so 2 times. Fourth speaker, guest Jainan, used a 2 times and had one long pause. Our fifth table topic speaker, Kunal, used a 5+ time and had one long pause. Sixth table topic speaker, Avinash, had 3 hours. Seventh speaker, Arya, had 5 times. Eighth speaker, he was not clearly audible to me, so I was not able to evaluate him. And 9th speaker, don't know the name, had a 5 plus times. 10th speaker Gargi use a 5 plus times. 11th speaker Toastmaster Tej Sharma had 1 and so 2 times. 12th speaker Akash Bojraj use a 1 time. All right. Now Toastmaster Sanjari, Toastmaster Nagappan sir in evaluation and table topic speech. Toastmaster Prasad sir in presidential address and table topic speech, and first table topic speaker Heshma was a flawless speaker with no unusual pauses and repeating words. Let us have a round of applause for them. With this, I conclude my report and hand over the stage to Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I suggest one change here. Since we have language evaluator who dropped out at the last minute, I requested whether general evaluator can add some points about that, and then we'll modify timings to 8 to 10 minutes instead of 5 to 7.
Someone was observing the proceedings of the entire meeting. She will now give her comments. Over to PTM Meena. Thank you so much.
It's still magic, even if we know how it's done. And this is what being a Toastmaster means. Even if the seasoned Toastmasters know what would be the meeting like, we do have the agenda beforehand, but still at the end of the meeting, we take back home is magic. Magic in the form of new learnings, magic in the form of learnings embossed upon old learnings, I would say. And now let's go through which learnings should we be incorporating, because we are all going to play every role at some point of time. So this will be for the guests as well as for the Toastmasters. Starting with our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Ankita. She started the meeting with full energy, with a smile on the face, and that actually sent across the sparks everywhere, I would say. Good job on that. The thing was, you should have started this with gavel. So that would have actually raised the antennas for each and every one. That was the thing that should have been taken care of. And another thing, after the Sergeant at Arms completed with all the addressing, then instead of having a seat here, it should have been here. Because the thumb rule of Toastmasters is that when someone is speaking from the dais, the trespassing is not allowed. It should be happening when the transfer of control happens. So that would not be even disrespectful towards the person on the dais and also the person coming in. Because unknowingly the others present get diverted over there. So it should not be a loss situation. It should be a win-win situation from both the sides. So should be sitting there. So that thing would be incorporated from the next meeting onwards. Then now for the Toastmaster of the day, I will say a bit later. Now coming to the auxiliary role players, the R counter, I would request everyone to give a special round of applause for Toastmaster Kailash for acting as a savior, because we couldn't have the R counter on time. He actually did an intro to R counter. So kudos to him for that, and that's definitely worth taking a cue. And again, that comes to the magic of being a Toastmaster, that we never shy away from our responsibilities. That is the thing. Now coming to the language evaluator, firstly, let me applaud with we are not with him, but regarding his choice of the word of the day and idiom of the day, I would say that it was very much in line with the theme. Kudos for that, but he missed out on two things. When he introduced the word of the day and idiom of the day, he could have asked someone from the audience to come up with a sentence or two, so that people would have been better connected with the word of the day and idiom of the day. And he also missed on asking the people to show a thumbs up if someone uses word of the day or idiom of the day. The good part was that seasoned Toastmasters knew about the rules, so they followed it, and they all were seated in the front row looking at that even these people followed. So that was the plus point. That was good. And regarding the usage of the word of the day and idiom of the day, I could sense that 70% of the audience use the word of the day and idiom of the day, thanks to the theme and the words and the idioms selected by the grammarian. And regarding the good usage and the not so good usage of the language, I would say that there were not many things to be pointed out. What I could actually feel was when guests were asked to speak impromptu. I guess many of you might have been facing the stage for the first time. So that error came out of that stage fear. I don't think it came out of not knowing about the language. So that could be taken care of from the next meeting onwards. From the language evaluator perspective, this would be my feedback. Now coming to the prepared speech section, I won't be evaluating the speakers because that has already been done by the evaluators. Regarding the evaluators, commendable job by all 4 of them using the CRC approach, comment, recommend, comment. Only one thing that I need to point out over here is, except evaluator number 2, Nagappan sir, everyone was keeping a poker face over it as an evaluator. I guess so some smile needs to be shown on the face. Reason being, there might be a speaker who might be giving his or her icebreaker, and he or she is already nervous because facing a different audience and doing something different for the first time. And on the top of that, if the evaluator also shows a very serious face, next time we would be, did I make any grave mistake here? That should not be the mentality. So you should be, I mean, even the recommendations or the commendations should be given in the cheerful mood, so that they send across the positive vibrations, as our Sergeant had said. Similar to that. This was regarding the evaluators. Coming to the table topic master, brilliant topics. Selection was very good. Energy was full on. Just one protocol you need to follow. That first of all, you have to call up the speaker, then announce the topic, and then say so and so speaker, this topic, so and so, and then give a handshake, and then ask. That should be the protocol. And now coming to the opening batsman, I would say the Toastmaster of the day. Now, I would say that the topic resonated with the entire audience, because as even Nagappan sir had asked that how many of you have not seen a magic show, so no one felt isolated. And regarding Tej, he could resonate with the topic immediately after the meeting started, especially after this target speaker spoke about that. So only thing, I mean, a couple of things which I would like to state here, that when there was a change in the agenda regarding the R counter, you should have just mentioned it at the start that there is a change in the agenda, because all of them had the agenda in hand. So when they were trying to cross check who is the R counter or who is the grammarian, they found it a bit of mismatch, because it was written Dhruv and we had Kailash. So that should have been mentioned beforehand, that there is a change in the agenda, we have this person as this. And other means, when you called upon the speakers, that time the timing mentioned by you was 1 to 7 minutes. It should have been 5 to 7 minutes. Because 1 minute, if I'm not wrong, is the minimum requirement for table topics. I mean, we know it as seasoned Toastmasters, but for the guests, even then, they should not be under the impression that the minimum time required is 1 minute. Definitely not. For the prepared speeches, it is 5 minutes minimum. So that needs to change. Otherwise, yeah. And when you announced a bio break, that time the timing was 5:52 p.m. You should have just said we will reassemble exactly at 5:57 p.m. Okay, it was available here, but many people left before that. So that would have been a confusion. So that was the thing. Otherwise, regarding energy, it was full on. No recommendations regarding the level of energy over there. And regarding the presidential address, bang on as usual. I would never say that there is a loss of energy there. It was in fact uplifting completely. And by giving a personal example, that was actually a cherry on the icing, I would say, because everyone tries to relate personally when some personal thing is being conveyed. So this was me as a general evaluator. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Nigel, for the awesome points. And your energy is so infatuating. I'm not feeling it more. So now we'll take the voting for the best short reel of the day. Okay.
I'm launching poll. First, I'm launching the poll for best role player. We have Toastmaster of the day Akash Bhojraj, Table Toastmaster Tamanna Ahuja, and General Elected medium winner.
Yes. I request everybody to write the.
So please cast your vote. You will see the names there. Write one of these three names on that small sheet of paper. You know, best role player.
Now we'll have a quick look at a short clip of Sirius Black again from Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I request Nagappan sir. So what he's saying is, we all have got both light and dark inside us. What matters is the part we choose to act on. That is who we really are. So you must have thinking why I'm showing clips. So these are the few important and awesome clips I've seen, I've heard while watching Harry Potter. These clips are so relatable. You feel so passionate and imaginative when you see these clips. You feel suddenly that you are in that position, and you feel that there's so much to learn from this. I think even J.K. Rowling might be surprised that so many people have watched these clips a lot, and they have learned so much, and not just about life, about at least a small species. These small snippets have actually created a unique magic inside of us, and it's not waving a wand. It is quite interesting to see that how a small thing, such as a snippet, can change your life. And now we will have.
I've launched poll for best auxiliary role player.
Yes.
The three members who can qualify for that are Sergeant at Arms Ankita, Primer Harsh, and Art of the Kailash.
Please vote for the best auxiliary role player. So now we'll have a wonderful closing address from our beloved president, distinguished Toastmaster Prasad Sawhney. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, muggles and wizards, mischief managed. Thank you so much.
Before we give away the certificates, I would like to have some quick feedback from guests present here. We'll start with you.
I really like the session. So the first thing, the most memorable thing what I like is the example which Prasad sir gave, like sorry, like in first year, first time when you enter the Toastmaster club, you are a rabbit, and after 1 year or 2 years, you became a lion. So that was very promising. And
have you decided to enter?
Yes,
as a rabbit. Thank you. We'll hold applause till the end. After everyone has spoken, we'll applaud all of them. You. Okay.
So this is my third. So in my 3 sessions, I have seen 12 different speakers and 12 different evaluators. So those evaluators and those speakers, what I learned, like the way of delivering their speech and the way of anticipating each person, like each speaker, is very like commendable, and like those way, like every people is different mode of energy while it's delivering the speech. So these are the things that I have learned in this whole three sessions. Thank you.
Siddharth Raghav. Hi, good evening, everyone. The best thing I liked about this is the first time that I've been here, and the best things I liked about this session is this is an absolutely professional environment that I saw, and there is a value for time over here, and this is very good because every speaker has a certain limit of time. All activities are timed out, so this is very what you say is a well designed manner. Also, what I see here is there are a lot of steps that are followed, like very good feedback which is given to all activities, to the speakers, to the examiners. So this is a very good thing that I also look forward to the participating.
You stay around here nearby?
I stay in Nagappan.
This is my first time attending a Toastmasters meeting. So I have noticed two things. First is like all the activities going here is very punctual. It is as per agenda and everything is like time bound of everything. It is like strictly disciplined and it is going fine. Second thing is I like reading each other helping other like even the first time speaker is going there is like so kind of it's like everyone is like supporting them. I like that kind of motivation.
And you work in Pune right now. Yeah. Plus your uncle is a member here, so do you think you have a choice? You have choices. We'll get feedback from you later on. Feedback from yes,
first meeting, and I'm really glad to actually meet this sort of well-organized person. I'm looking forward to attend every meeting and
energy here. That first session, everyone was supportive. Like the positive feedback that everyone is giving the improving.
For giving me opportunity. I really like the sessions and it is very well organized and the delegation of duties and everyone has performed very well. And today I experienced today I listened various speeches like I was seeing Shark Tank, India's Got Talent. I like that. And, definitely I would like to be part of this. Thank you.
The camera 180 degrees. We'll start with Anchal. Gargi. Oh, sorry, we start Gargi. She has come so often now, I thought she's a big person.
This is my third time, and the first time I came to give the speech, I was very nervous, but everyone supported.
First, they are Toastmasters. First of all, I never thought that I would be given a chance to speak over there, and it was very much impromptu. I don't know how I spoke, but every day is the first day now, so I'm really looking forward to joining this.
And you are a professor in this college?
No.
You are with us, so I'll get you that. Arya first.
Yeah, the experience was magical today, I would say. And the environment is supportive and helps us grow. So I would be looking forward to joining the club.
Now we get a feedback from Avinash first, and then Ishma. Meenal has already given a feedback.
The best thing about this club is to have evaluators evaluating our mistakes, which help us to improve because we make mistakes and we need to know that in order to become more perfect and stronger. And that is the best part of this club.
Feedback from Ishma.
Excellent show done by the entire team. I've heard a lot of things and I got
got to know about this platform. So well done. I kept looking at the agenda, how the time is being managed as a VP education. So like, well done, everything. I would say 10 on 10 for the entire show. Thank you so much.
Let's give a round of applause to all the like support feedback if you want. There is a space for that on the agenda. Sorry, not on the agenda, on the slip being circulated. There is space for overall feedback about the club here, somewhere in the center of that sheet. Okay. You can write whatever you want to write about the club and pass it on to us. We will read that and act upon it if required. There are a couple of announcements. We have our 700th meeting coming up on 18th of June, and we will also be felicitating the newly elected trio, that is district director, district program project director, and district club road director, as well as some of the division directors, because all of them are not in Pune, so some of them might be, we'll invite all, some of them might be present, and we'll felicitate them as well. And it will be 700 meetings, so a milestone meeting. Most likely it will be at a Star Hotel in Pune, and we will inform you at that time. But one important thing is we will need to have a firm count prior to that. So if you are informed about that and you are coming, then please write so, inform us, acknowledge that you are coming, and then attend that, because this will not be a meeting where it doesn't matter what number of people turn up. It will be a meeting where it matters. We are going to give a minimum guarantee to the hotel where we have to commit for food for a certain number of people. Maybe a plate might cost 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees or 1,500 rupees. So we will invest that if you don't turn up after confirming. So while we will add the number, and if let's say if the number is 30, we will still order for 25. So there will be scope of adjustment for maybe 4 or 5 persons. But if you don't turn up on that day, it will be a loss for the club. So please remember that we will be having a meeting where we'll take advance count and confirm that you're coming or you're not coming, and then stick to that. Okay, so that is expected of every member, including new members. That will be on 18th of June. Before that, we have 2 more meetings here, and we seek a person who can be Toastmaster of the day with a good theme on which the speakers can incorporate these topics. For example, today's theme was magic, but I couldn't hear speakers incorporating that into their speeches. So maybe we should have more speeches related to the theme of the meeting as well. As we had coffee the other day, and we had speeches where coffee was mentioned, or I gave a speech about coffee entirely. So maybe you can incorporate speeches of that sort, and then the theme can be simpler. So who would like to become the Toastmaster of the day if you are not played that role so far? Sanjay? Okay, what is the theme in your mind?
Can I suggest it in a day because I need to think about it.
Okay.
This is very
So suggest a simple thing which people can incorporate in their speeches.
Yes, that's what I was suggesting, that can we announce agenda a little earlier, because this was announced on Friday.
That was a bit late, yeah.
Yeah.
This time it was extremely
Because
late.
I had already written my speech and I could not incorporate magic. Otherwise, I would have spoken about how I love the books. So that's what I would say that.
Normally it happens around Tuesday or Wednesday, but the team is declared before that, and
Yeah.
then the people plan their speeches.
Okay, so I'll get back to you in a day.
And one more person. So you can be Toastmaster for 4th of June.
Yeah.
And then 11th. Okay, Parag can be Toastmaster for 11th. So we have next 2 Toastmasters of the day. You will also have to call up people and get commitment from them. You'll have to invite your friends and blah blah blah. Okay, we'll guide you, we'll coach you. I'll send you a document which contains all the information that you need to do. Just follow that. Okay. But you'll have to work hard for that. We are here to support you. We'll make sure you don't drown, but you have to push your hands and legs. Okay. To give the analogy of a swimming pool. Okay, now we come to the moment where, sorry, one more announcement is that our club used to have regular elections, but in the period of pandemic, many of our experienced members left, and currently we have a process of nomination. I would love to have elections where many people vie for one slot, but I'll just briefly tell you what all roles are required and what everyone is supposed to do. I am currently the president. I will be stepping down on 30th of June, and 1st July there will be a new president. Since the club is currently having a lot of new members, we would prefer an experienced member to become president for one more term, and then maybe a newer member can take over as president. But there are other roles. For example, what Kailash is currently doing is Vice President of Education, that is planning for the agenda for each meeting. Then what DTM Nagappan is doing currently is Vice President of Membership, who guides all the guests, helps them become members, and after they become members, he helps them further by making sure they remain members. The third role is Vice President of Public Relations. Currently, Kailash is making posters for all of us and posting on the groups, as well as on social media. So that is a role which probably any new Toastmaster can easily step into, because it doesn't require too much of Toastmasters intelligence. It is just you need the technical skills for that, which you have. Then there is a role called secretary. Currently, Tamanna is playing that role. Earlier, Tej used to play that role. So these are the people who write minutes of the meeting and circulate to all of you. Then there is the role of treasurer, where monetary part is involved. So we would like to have not only an experienced person, we also would like to have a member who is best in Pune for that. For VPPR, you can be best anywhere. For all the other positions, you should be best in Pune. Okay? And then there is Sergeant at Arms. Obviously, you must be best in Pune. Currently, Tej is playing that role, where you have to arrange for the setup for this room. And we will guide you, but you have to be present here at least 1 hour earlier. What time do you reach here? 4:50. So 5 o'clock meeting, he reaches at 4:50. That is late Tej.
No, sir, I asked you. You said 4:50 is okay. Earlier, I should come at 4 o'clock.
So you have to be here earlier, set up everything. This venue is better that way, that you don't have to set up too much. There is a peon who also helps you set up many things. The chairs are already there, you don't have to set up. Unlike Ferguson College, we had to do even that. And that's why you have to come there at 4. Yes. Okay. So please nominate yourself. If you want to discuss about this, you can discuss during the fellowship that we will have outside this room in a while. But please volunteer. We need people to run. Okay, it cannot be that the same set of people do all the work all the time. We need different people to step into that and carry on the legacy of the club. So far, we have always had success with that until pandemic hit us, and many of our members left, and nobody was willing to become president. That's why I had to step in again. When we founded the club, I had made a rule that I will not become president again, but there were exceptions only because of pandemic. Now I complete 1 year on this 30th June, and I cannot be by law president after that. Somebody else has to step in, and in all the other positions as well, we'll need people to nominate. Okay, so please show your interest. Talk to us if you want. You can talk to any of the experienced members. Ask them how they are doing. You can talk to the current office bearers. Ask them what they go through. It is not too difficult. Okay, but you need time commitment. You need physical presence in the room. Okay, for all roles except VPPR. Now we'll give the certificates and clap for the people, and after that we'll go and have fellowship in the room next door. So the best speaker for today goes to Parag Shinde. Are you ready? Can we close this? Just click photos without that, and then we move this back and make it easier. Is there a remote for this project?
Yes, so there was.
Otherwise, just we have to jump and
Just try it. Click it off.
power on 2 times. One more time.
Yeah. One more time.
One more time. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. The best role player for the meeting goes to distinguished Toastmaster Milan. The best auxiliary role player goes to Toastmaster Ankita Dev. One important thing which I noticed is in the online world, the SA never won the best auxiliary role player. Yes, because nobody noticed that you do some work in the background of counting votes and things like that. The best evaluator for today goes to distinguished Toastmaster Nagappan.
the district table topic speaker goes to none other than distinguished Toastmaster Prasad Sovani.
If we are ending the meeting now, is there anyone who has any violent objection, any comment, something needs to be said? No? Okay, so we'll end the meeting and
One
we'll
small
end
thing,
it.
sir.
Yeah.
That when you were being given the award, let the caption be put. Otherwise, they think that you're not receiving it, you're
No,
giving it.
we have a good PR team for that. Don't worry. I'm ending the meeting now and we'll gather in the other room. Okay, and but before that, please come here for group photo.